Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to Sink the Bismarck Adventures on the High Seas with me, Wolf 190D. Did that rhyme? Wow, that was totally unintended to rhyme. But anyway, folks, just a friendly reminder, if at any point you are enjoying the content, please be sure to drop a like, subscribe, follow. Comments are also appreciated. Anything to help appease those algorithm gods. Anyway, without any further ado, let's go ahead and get back to our story at hand. Now, where were we? For me, on my end, it's been a little bit of time. Let's see here. I think if I recall correctly, we were starting to pretty much conquer all of Africa. Yes, yes, yes. We're slowly conquering Africa now. We are in a little bit of a deficit. And it's because we have not stabilized. We have not stabilized our transports. Let me see here. Where is it? Transport losses actually are at zero. We're at 100% right now currently, which is very, very interesting. We haven't gone into a deficit. I guess we're starting to catch back up. If I recall correctly, last time we were in a little bit of a deficit. Now, what do we have for ship designs? We've got the V-45 destroyers, which I think, if I recall right, have been proving to be rather effective. Definitely an improvement over the old 21s. They've got twin torpedo tubes, still rocking the 88s. And I mean, come on, those of you that are history buffs know that the German 88s were, well, they were the German 88s. They were really effective guns at pretty much everything. So we've got Mark II 8-inch guns coming in soon. What do we want to focus our research on? Because we just got the steam turbines, which does remind me. Actually, I think I'm going to want to go and take a look at at some of our old designs. I really need to work through our old designs because. Well, because now we have turbine engines, which are going to be a lot more expensive. I mean, the engine cost per weight is 200% on the multiple expansion twos, whereas the steam turbines are 1,750% more expensive per weight. However, and this is something that you have to take into consideration. Don't just look at that number. You have to keep in mind these turbines are also producing 120 horsepower per ton, whereas the multiple expansions are only producing 28 per ton. So the cost might be negligible. It might be. Let me see here. What do we have? Yes, the V45s. We had just built the V45s with the turbine engines. And as you can see, compared to the V21s, they are a little bit more, but we also did bump that extra 2 knots out of the overall top speed. Not to mention we doubled our torpedo complement. We do have that. We do have that going for us. We've got 10,000 ton heavy cruisers. We've got electric steering gears. I'm not a fan of the electric steering gears. They're just straight electrics. Some of you might like it. I know they're lighter. At least I think they're lighter comparatively. But I do prefer the hydraulics because you still get that good reliable hydraulic drive on the on your equipment. So anyway, we got armor-piercing ballistic capped, which I do believe. Let me see here. Yes, those are going to be an upgrade on our APs or on our AP shells. Actually, I think those are about the almost the pinnacle of armor-piercing shell technology. So we'll have to see how that works out too. What do we have for our ship designs, though? Well, we do have the Siegfried. We did build the Nassau, and last time we also farted around a little bit with certain ship designs, and that actually does remind me. There we go. Okay, so just activating my my chat overlay here, so that if anybody drops by and says hello, instead of waiting until the break and saying, "Oh, I just now noticed somebody was here." That's something that did happen last time. We've got our Ariadne light cruisers, 4,000-ton light cruisers. What do we have for our building projects right now? Why would you do that? Okay. Oh my goodness. We've got 3 different types of battleships being built right now. Yeah. Anyway. We've got a Kaiserin Augusta type, and then we've got the Cormorants. Okay, we've still got a couple Cormorants floating around. Kaiserin Augustas, Kaiserin Augusta 2. We'll probably be designing a new heavy cruiser at some point as well, because I think, yes, some of our battleships are getting to be 22 knots. So for now, I can run that battle, because this battleship, I'm not sure what I want to do with it yet, but what I might do is I might give it a light cruiser and a couple destroyers and just have a couple of zone control fleets, hopefully cheaper zone control fleets. But anyway, it's and the problem, part of the problem with this one is going to be that it's built on a small dreadnought hull, so the smallest, the superstructure guns are not going to be up to scratch, I don't think. But we do have the Nassaus. We do have the Nassaus coming in, which are one of our historic builds, actually. The Nassaus are a historic build. View, I think, the previous episode, or maybe the episode before that, to see how those are done. We've got a Japanese fleet over here. And we are attempting a naval invasion on northeast England. So let's see here what we have. We have 71%. We might get a little bit more out of that. But anyway, we've got the Sachsen class ships here. We've also got oh my God, the old ones. Most of our ships are obsolete. And there we go. We've got the oh. Well, now we're gonna have to rename that guy, aren't we? Let me see. Can't have 2 Nassaus, can we? Because we have a Nassau class. So let's go ahead and rename this guy. What are we gonna rename this guy? How about Donar? Right. Those of you that are familiar with Christmas carols, you remember Donner and Blitzen, right? Right. You know, all of Santa's reindeer, Donner and Blitzen. Well, Donner is thunder, and Blitzen is lightning. I know, it's funny, right? Anyway, we have a naval invasion. We've got pretty much nothing else to do, actually, right now. So, we're all caught up. Let's rock and roll and see what happens. Wouldn't it be great if our armies could actually invade southern England? We've got a landing point. We've got the landing points. Let's invade southern England, boys. And it's funny, actually, because like less than 300,000 men are actually pushing a million and 100,000 men. It's pretty wild. But hey, you know, it's honestly, it's what happens sometimes, especially if and the number you're really going to want to pay attention to for that is going to be, yeah, we just lost a lot of transports in the North Sea, West Africa, and the South Atlantic. Portugal wants to order a V-21. No, 58%, no, man. And they pushed us back. So I was all bragging about my guys. But the point, the thing was that, yeah, we had, anyway, German Empire initiates a major offensive from eastern England against southern England. Okay. And it's probably because our army logistics are down at 20% right now. The British are down at 3%. So as long as your army logistics are somewhat solid, and in order to do that, you really have to protect your transports. So I want to see if we can't capture northeast England. Right? Oh my good! I was about to say, whoa, what? That's the population, though. So 250,000 men against almost a million and a quarter, uh, right? Why they're doing that, I have no idea. That's just my overzealous land forces, man. I don't know what to do about them. Yeah. So we've got another Ariadne. We've got a backup Ariadne, and I think, let me see here. We should have all Ariadnes in our fleets. If we don't, then we don't. Yeah, Zayadler, which is the sea snake. For those of you that aren't familiar with German, they come up with some kind of interesting names, and it's the British. The British are funny because a lot of their cruisers and light cruisers, particularly, I think, are named after Greek mythological creatures and characters and stuff like that. So I don't know, where do they get off with that? The Siegfrieds are coming in. We've got the Siegfrieds. The Siegfrieds are now joining the fight. So let me go to fleet real quick, and I'm going to go ahead and open up next to the Nassaus. Oh God, that's down to 7 months, really? Okay. All right. Well, we can do that. We're 9,000 tons shy, so we'll go back to our fleet. We'll check on some other things. We've got 4 months on another Kaiser and Augusta, and then what we're actually going to have to do is refit that. So it's kind of becomes problematic as you get into the refits and things like that. The V21s, we've got a mess of V21s actually that do need to be refit, and then we're starting to build our V45s. We had built a lot of 6 of them. So let's find our V21 refits. We're going to go through that, and we're going to go ahead and put, yep, we can do all of them. So let's go ahead and refit our aging V21s, right? And they are aging. They're starting to get older, and again, it's going to be a major problem that we're starting to run. At least, I mean, we're very advanced, so for us, a lot of the battleships are obsolete. Pretty much, I think 4 of our task forces are actually obsolete ships. The Wittelsbachs, yeah, obsolete. The Kaiser Wilhelm II, obsolete. The Sachsens, obsolete. The Zeringens, I think the Zeringens might be okay. Where did the Zeringens go? Did I delete the Zeringen design without... Oh boy. I think the Zeringens are also... you know what it was? It was because these guys were on the tail end. We built them on the tail end, and then as soon as we got the dreadnoughts, they went obsolete, and it happened before I was able to actually put an upgrade on them. So the Zeringens are actually also they're also obsolete, and that's why they're not in here anymore. So the Prince Regent Luitpolds, which are already out and about, and then we have the Siegfrieds, which are coming in right now as we speak. The Siegfrieds are starting to get completed. So yeah, we've got 1, we've got 2, we've got 3, we've got 4 task forces literally that are obsolete. They're not going to do anything for us anymore. And we've got one of these old Wittelsbachs, which I think, if I recall correctly, weren't the Wittelsbachs our original battleship build? I think they were. So we're getting the new guys in now, and let's see if we can't start putting some of these ships out to sea. So we've got the Mecklenburg, which is a Kaiserin 2. It's an upgrade, which is good. We've got the Ariadne, and then the Siegfried is being commissioned. And the next turn, that'll take 2 turns, right? That'll take 2 turns. The next turn, though, we're going to get a mess of V21s that have been refit. So what's the difference between the V21s and the V21-2s? Well, the V21 upgrades are about 500,000 more on the cost. The maintenance is almost the same. Actually, it is it. It is. It's slightly less. We were able to upgrade them in a way that made them slightly less maintenance. So we got Steam multiple expansion ones to Steam multiple expansion twos. So that's where the extra, the reduction in maintenance comes from. Is the upgrade of the engine. All right. All right. So everything else 7290 on the horsepower 70. Yeah. So the horsepower is the same. It's just the ship itself is slightly lighter. And we were actually able to put more equipment on it, like a mine hunter kit, which you're definitely going to want on your fleet destroyers. If you build, if you get into this that kind of a way where you have destroyers for specific purposes like port protection or fleet destroyers. And usually what I just do is I cycle my destroyers, so either way they're going to have mine hunters. But if you want to get into technicalities, as you start to cycle a certain class of destroyer out of your fleets and you start rotating them into port duty, what you can do is you can upgrade them and take away the mine hunting, maybe even add mine laying to them. So destroyers have really, really good flexibility like that. Now, what do we got here? The British have a battleship. The Japanese have a battleship. Some scattered fleets. So what I'm gonna want to do, with this actually, I'm gonna want to move these guys to Sunderland, and I'm gonna want to get these guys, if I can grab this task force. There they are. I'm gonna grab this task force and move them. I'm just gonna basically swap positions. All right, it's gonna keep the tonnage within the invasion circle. 71% chance, so we've got a pretty good odds that we're actually going to take this, that we're going to take Northeast England. Right. Once we do that, what I'm going to try to do is set up a blockade of the British Isles. I'm going to try to get my fleets positioned in a way where, let me see here, is this the North Atlantic position? Destination is the North Sea. He's got another battleship coming in next turn. And the Japanese have another battleship coming in next turn, and more ships. All right. So, well, we do have the advantage. I've got a fleet of dreadnoughts ready made, and that's why I start off. I start off with the small dreadnought builders because they build quicker. Yes, they can't mount as heavy equipment as the full-size dreadnought, but it's a start and they build faster. So you get the dreadnought quickly, especially if you're already in a war or looking at getting into a war. And if we go to our finances real quick, actually, so see where our transport losses are actually negative 300,000, or no, negative 300 million. Hold on, hundreds, thousands. Yeah, negative 336 million. Is what we're losing from just 3% on our transports. What a big difference losing 5 transports makes, huh? All right, so we do need to get out though and start putting a stranglehold. So what I have to do is I have to have more tonnage in the Irish Sea, the English Channel, and it looks like the North Sea. Belfast is on the Irish Sea, yes. So basically what I can do is I can take one of my fleets, put them in the Irish Sea, take one of them and put them in the English Channel, and then have one more in the North Sea. That gives us a floater wherever the extra assistance is needed. Maybe I decide to go and invade Northwest England, or even Scotland. We could actually set up an invasion on Scotland, which would probably work out a little bit better. Though Scotland needs a lot of tonnage. And that's because of Scapa Flow mainly. Actually, it's the harbor up there. I think required invasion tonnage is based on the size of the port, if I'm not mistaken. But hey, if I am mistaken, then hey, correct me, please. See, in West Africa, we've got actually a decent power projection, and I think what I'm going to try to do here is I'm going to set these guys on protect. All right. Wow, did that jump that high? 38,000. Anyway, there again. We've captured a large chunk of Africa. What else are we going to do with the rest of it? I'm not entirely sure. But we've got this fleet down here. And maybe, can I invade Zanzibar? That would be nice if I could invade Zanzibar. I don't think I can though. See, the only thing I can do right now is Scotland because it's where all my fleets are. So, North Sea. Yes, we did. Yes, we did take Gibraltar. Okay. So we've got guys. We've got ships sitting there. Yeah. Okay. All right. So we'll give it one more turn, and then we got to clear out this cluster luck up here. We've got to clean this up because this is starting to the power projection. And honestly, I mean, we still outpower them by quite a bit, but they've got these fleets sitting here, and they are unfortunately intercepting all of our transports. So we have to send a fleet up there to clean them out, task force rather. Reach a point. Diplomats from the Italian Empire asked to spend, which will not be profitable for our nation, but will strengthen further our relations. What are your thoughts? Do I have 131 million to give to the Italians, basically, to ensure that I get an out? Yeah, sure. Why not? Let's do this. Okay. Well, we pulled in Italy as an ally. Ooh-rah. Okay, so advanced big funnels, electric steering gear, armor-piercing ballistic cap shells, torpedo contact exploder number 2, which this is actually really nice. I know you guys have probably heard me get really frustrated about making a perfect torpedo run and then all of the torpedoes that hit are duds. It's retarded, it's ridiculous, I hate it. But anyway, they want 3 of the Princess Wilhelm class heavy cruisers, 4,000-ton heavy cruisers, 99%. It's a 10-month build. It's going to eat up. Actually, no, I don't want to do that. All right, we did it. We did it, boys. Our Marines were successful. They captured Northeast England. All right, so let's find out where these guys are going. He's got 2 the Japanese have 2 battleships there. The British are sending a battleship. The Japanese are also sending more heavy cruisers. So let's move this fleet over. Let's just go right here. Forget about it. So the V-21s, they've got V-21 upgrades. Good. Let's get these guys with a couple more of those. Good. What I'm also going to want to do is those are all V-21s, right? Yes. Okay. What about Lerwick? Lerwick has got a heavy cruiser and a V1. So what I'm going to do, because Helgoland actually has a nice stock of destroyers, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and move all of my destroyers up that way, except for one. I'm going to take one, and we're going to move one of them to Helgoland. All right, move him there, move him there. Okay, so the V-21s are set. Finances, I've got about 8,000 extra tonnage to work with. We are currently building, all of the Siegfrieds are still under construction. 2 of the Nassaus are building. And what I can actually do is I'm going to suspend this guy, and I'm going to activate this guy. All right, so we can do that. I'm going to keep the scattergun building. Let me see here. We got a Kaiser and Augusta, but I'm going to have to refit it once it's done. Oh, that's another thing. Crew. Okay, good. We got 1,851. Which, let's see here. and put that ship back in there. Oh, no, I didn't want to go to ship design. The nymph in the West Indian Ocean. Oh, is he part of a larger fleet? He sure is. Okay, that's what's going on there. All right. That's an Ariadne. Okay, he's good. All right, so, oh man, what do we want to do, folks? Let's see here. We got Armored Cruiser 2. We could do that, or we could wait for the Armored Cruiser number 3, which I think, when does that come in? I think that comes in around 12,000 ton heavy cruiser or something like that. It's a much larger number. In other words, we still got a ways to go. Small guns, we got Mark II 8s coming in relatively quickly. Do I want to start mounting either 7.5 or 8-inch? Maybe, honestly, Mark III 9s. You know, we could honestly upgun our heavy cruisers and start putting 9 4s on them, which basically they would be smaller versions of our old battleships, or at least the old historical German battleships. The first 2 pre-dreadnought battleships that the Germans built, not the first 2 anyway, but when they got into a more modern looking hull, I think it was like the Braunschweig class and the Deutschland class. No, not the Braunschweig. It would have been the Deutschland class, I think. Those had 9.4-inch guns, which is almost tiny compared to pretty much everybody else mounting 12-inch guns. So it's an interesting progression. The Germans tended to use smaller caliber weapons because what they favored was a higher rate of fire. Does it work out? Well, it can. It honestly can. So it really just depends. Anyway, I don't even really pay attention to the maximum task force number for crew because I generally put like 4 or 5 battleships to a group. And actually, I misrepresented some of the early. I didn't start doing the historical type of builds until the Nassaus. Some of those early German battleships, the pre-dreadnoughts especially, they built 5 ships apiece. And they never went over 11-inch guns, I don't think. Yeah, the Braunschweigs were 11-inch. The Germans didn't start mounting 12-inch guns until the class that was after the Nassaus, which would be the... let's go back. Let's go... I think it was the Helgoland. Yeah, it would have been the Helgoland class battleships, which mounted 30.5 centimeter guns, which are 12-inch, right? So, yeah, it wasn't until the dreadnoughts came along that the Germans actually got away from those 28 centimeter guns, interestingly enough. But nonetheless, Jesus, we've almost got 1 million victory points. Yeah, we've almost got 1 million victory points against the British. We do have a convoy, and as always, I do recommend hitting convoys when you can. However, how do our ships... he's got an 8.8-inch gun. That's not an 88 millimeter. That's an 8.8-inch gun. That's actually kind of sizable. This is one of the old nymphas. And you know what I ought to do with the Bindlang ships is reduce the crew on them as well. Put the crew down to basically a skeleton crew. That'll help. So anyway, we got the I almost don't want to risk this. 18.3 knots. You know what? Let's see what happens, gang. Let's see what happens. All right. Actually, do I want to do that? No, I don't want to do that. I'm going to keep it. There we go. Okay. All right. So, anyway, let's do it to it. We're going to go ahead and drive him right at formation. Turn our tubes off. We're going to put our 88s on save. We got 3. We're going to get the more modern destroyer heads. Those are going to be so much nicer. Let it do that. Just a second, gang. Okay, yeah, we're definitely all right. We'll see. This is I don't know that it's gonna be entirely like risky, but if I recall correctly, our destroyers are coming. You know, it could be that it's something else. Let's see. What we got? Oh, he's got no armor on his heavy cruisers. They do have guns that'll hurt this destroyer. That's some heavy damage on that heavy cruiser. Crying out loud, these 88s with this big wow, we did too. There we go. Right. That's how you do it. Let me see something here. There we go. Okay, so they were preceded by the... Well, that's weird because the description here says preceding Wiesbaden class cruisers. Let's see here. Oh, okay. Well, anyhow, yeah, that's that. There goes the Japanese transport fleet. No more. All right, let's see here. And where is he right now? He's in East Asia, okay, and that's where the Sasebo Harbor is in East Asia. All right, so, I mean, and there again, sometimes I don't understand the AI's logic and how they move fleets around. Um, Britain has ships out here. Japan has ships out here. What I need to do is get one of my older fleets out of here as soon as I can, and get them over there where I can start taking over other taking out other raiding points, as it were. West Indian Ocean, West Africa. Let's see here. Do we have no, there's really no refits that can be done right now, are there? Ah, okay. That's what I can do, actually. I can take him, Pilau, and move Pilau down to here. 4 turns. Okay. She's on her way. And Britain's got a battleship over there. We've got our battleships over here. Now, this guy, this is the one I want to take. I'm going to take him because the other ones are starting to come in. So I also want to take this fleet, and I want to get this fleet out into the West Indian Ocean. Now the Zayadler is an Ariadne, yes? Okay, good. All right. 4%. Look at that. 250,000 men pushing on 1 million. They're outnumbered 4 to 1, and they're pushing them. It really is crazy. And maybe they'll get around to fixing it at some point. I don't know, but it really is crazy how much of a difference the logistical thing makes. That actually does make on land army movements and even naval invasions. Actually, it helps with the naval invasions too, big time. These guys have 12-inch guns, and I don't know about, that's really weird. That gap was really weird. I don't know why it did it like that. I'm going to go ahead and move this ship into the Irish Sea, or that task force. And this task force, I'm going to go ahead and move into the English Channel. And I'm going to plug this gap right here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to set up a nice little blockade on the British. So we've got overpower in the North Sea. We should have overpower in the Irish Sea, and we should definitely have overpower in the English Channel. That should set up a nice blockade on the British Isles, right? Thing that historically the Germans failed to do. But then again, historically the British, I think, were a little bit better at shipbuilding as well. So we'll have to see how all of that plays out down the road. So we've got 3 turns, we've got 3 months, we've got 4 months, we've got 6 months on the Siegfried builds. The Nassaus are building anyway. We've got the one that's suspended at 6 months. Oh, did I make a boo-boo? I probably did, because I needed that Ariadne. Okay, not a big deal. Actually, it's not a problem at all. We'll just build a new Ariadne, right? Yeah, build a new one. So he's got 5-inch guns. Now that we have turbines, though, what I want to do is probably design a new light cruiser. And we're going to launch him in Hamburg. 10 months. 10 months, right? I've already got one right there. So yeah, all right, it's cool. We'll get the task force decked out ships. Task force decked out. And what I want to know is why these guys aren't able to intercept anything coming around here. That's very, very odd. Very odd. It's very kind of frustrating, actually. So, anyway. I don't know, I'm kind of ahead of the curve on the historical German light cruiser builds, but, well, there you have it. We've got light cruiser 2. Light cruiser 3 is good. We've got light cruiser 3s. Though, isn't that what the Ariadnes are built on, or the light cruiser 3 hull? Yes, they are. Huh. Well, anyway, we've got steam. We've got the turbine engines now, so what I can do is I can start working on a light cruiser build for the steam turbines, or equipped with turbines. It's going to make them more expensive, but ultimately it's going to drastically improve their performance. Yeah, but what do you do? What do you do? Maybe I wait for the light cruiser 4 hulls. Maybe have to wait for the light cruiser 4 hull, because the light cruiser 3 hull might not have enough fuel or speed efficiency. And these are certain things to keep in mind, keep in consideration as you design new ships. Because, let's see here. Because it really becomes very, very expensive to move the speed of a design over the maximum efficiency of the hull. Here's the thing: the government is wise enough to decide what's best costs a lot more to. If we agree to a fair exchange, let's go ahead and agree to a fair exchange. I'm gonna agree to peace with Japan. So, you know what? Wow, the torpedoes have to be really close on these guys. I guess they haven't been upgraded. That's another thing. I just figured something locked. Oh, wow. He slipped it. Stream is being encoded at 720p. Well, thanks for the heads up. I'll have to see what's going on with the settings. Using torpedoes to open up a nice big hole in his hull down below the waterline. Let the ship breathe a little bit, guys. Poor transports. But hey, it's it is one of the best ways to reduce your opponent's combat effectiveness, and of course by proxy, you know, you want to prevent them from doing the same to you. So anyway, while that's loading, let's see what we got going on here. Okay. Base resolution is 1920 by 1080. And that might be it. So I might have to fiddle with the settings for my next set of streaming, but for now it is what it is. Okay. All right. This is going to be the big one. And seeing as how I'm trying to keep these to about an hour each, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and call a break for now. So for those of you on Twitch, sit tight, please. And we'll be back after this break. For those of you on YouTube, tune in next time. And please be sure, as always, if you are enjoying the content, give us a like, a subscribe, a follow, whatever works to appease those pesky algorithm gods. Anyway, folks, till next time, this is Wolf190D signing off.